All right, guys. Today I'm going to talk about a subject that hits home for me. I want to talk about leaving your hometown, or just leaving in general, but specifically your hometown, where you grew up, all that you know, and why you need to leave it. So, you can't, first and foremost, you can't get somewhere else while staying in the previous place, right? You can't steal second while staying on first. At some point, you're going to have to take your foot off that base. You're going to have some faith in between that you don't get caught or whatever, and that you make it to second base, and eventually you'll make it to home base. That's the analogy. That's the goal, right? Is to make it to another level. You know, sometimes it's first base, sometimes it's second. I'm on third base, apparently, in this analogy. It's the third place I've lived in my life, and it's another chapter. So, that being said, you really can't get to a new place without leaving the old place. And you would say, hey, can I grow without leaving everything I know? You know, a lot of people have a lot more, I realize, family obligations, friend obligations that they need to, or they feel they need to stay in touch with. They feel that they need to stay to be with these people that they've known, that they're abandoning them. That segues into another point of mine, which is there's a lot of shame for leaving people behind. And no one wants to feel left behind, right? No one wants to feel as if they're holding someone back. No one wants to feel as if they're not growing, they're not a good influence in someone else's life. But the fact of the matter is that people don't grow at the same rates, right? If I take two seeds from the same tree, plant them in the same earth, give them the same amount of water, same amount of sunlight, they're still probably not going to be like dead even. There's still people, plants, life, things, they don't grow at the same rate. So inevitably, you're going to be growing faster than some people, and you're going to be growing slower than some people. And sometimes those rates are very misaligned. And some people aren't growing. Some people are dying. Some people are retracting. Some people are getting smaller. And you have to be able to recognize those things and recognize when it's no longer serving you to keep those relationships in your life. Now, with that being said, the reason you need to leave your hometown is because all those people have known you your whole life, and they know who you've been, and they know what you're capable of. They know everything about you, apparently, right? And unfortunately, those limiting beliefs get projected back onto you. So if you've always been a drug addict, or if you've always been a not fit person like me, right? People are going to have a hard time who've known you your whole life for 10 plus years, whatever, as this one way of being. They're going to have a hard time seeing you that other way, and they're going to project it back upon you. So you have to understand that those people themselves are going to limit you whenever you try and aspire for more. If you say, hey, I want to make more money, and they've been used to seeing you make this amount of money, they're going to be like, what, you want to be all rich and famous or something. The point is, it doesn't matter what you aspire to be or what you aspire to change. They're going to know what you used to be, and they're going to try and keep you in that box because that keeps them comfortable. This way, if you're leaving and going to another place, you have a chance to reestablish yourself as something new. You have a chance to go outside of the box, to make new friends. You know, if you never were into fitness before and you now go find fit friends, you're that's all they have seen you as, right? And they can understand that, and they can help you grow in that regard. Your old friends are not going to, right? They're just not going to see it. And here's the thing. If those friends truly are your friends, and they go through life and they do grow, and maybe you guys get on the same level, on the same wavelength on a certain subject, you guys will reconnect. You guys will start seeing eye to eye, and you'll go out of your way to still be friends. So Your friends, your relationships, they must be productive. They must be conducive to what you're working towards. They must be, if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room. So you need to go somewhere where you're not, where you can learn more, where you can gain more. And oftentimes it's not found in those old relationships. So with that said, you have to leave your hometown, and it's going to be one of the hardest things you have to do. Personally, my example, I grew up upstate New York, and I always had this California dream. And when I really started to manifest it, or really started to flesh it out, I was probably 19. And I had a bunch of reasons to stay in New York. Not really, but in my head, they made sense at the time. I had a bunch of reasons to stay in New York. Fast forward, 4 years later, I'm 23. Now I'm fucking fed up. I'm ready to go. I don't have much going on for me. And I finally do go. I make the leap. I had never been to California, never knew anyone there, nothing. I just knew I wanted to go. I was on a hope and a dream, hopped in my car and just drove west and never came back. And what has happened since I left has been pretty amazing, right? I inspired people to, that's the thing, you following your goals, you following your dreams, you doing what you need to do will inspire anyone who's watching, anyone who cares. My own mother went to her own place, right? Her dream place of freaking Hawaii. I've had other friends just move all kinds of places, right? And people will see you and they'll see what you're doing and they'll understand, and you'll meet new people. You get out of your comfort zone. Your move and your growth inspires others. That's why you can't be hesitant, because it's truly selfish, because you're not inspiring other people because you're so selfish. You're so scared of acting that you're holding yourself back and you're holding them back, right? So even for me, it was even with videos. I didn't want to put a whole bunch of stuff out publicly. I'm actually a very private and reserved person. If you ever meet me in real life, I'm not super talkative. I'm not open about everything that's going on in my life. So me talking, exposing pieces of my life on camera, on YouTube, in the public is hard. But it's selfish, right? Because some people are seeing these videos and it's making an impact to them. Maybe not now, maybe not when I'm just getting started, but maybe if I keep this going for a couple of years, it'll inspire people. And that's the same thing. Everybody wants this quick thing to work for them and just be like, boom, I shot up, I got 1 million subscribers, and now I'm a YouTube famous whatever person. And that's just not how it works, right? And even with my fitness grind, I inspired people by not quitting. I've been on this shit for 9 years at this point. In February 2024, it'll be 10 years I've been working out as a fucking adult, and still some people aren't inspired yet. So, yeah, you know what I mean? But some people have watched me and seen that example on set as like, hey, this guy, I remember him when he was tiny, when he was small, when he wasn't in shape, and he has made this his lifestyle and he is crushing it. And that has inspired people to just move their ass just a little bit, And the same goes for this, right? Some people don't even post on Facebook, don't even post on Instagram, post to their private friend group or whatever, because it's a fear of judgment, right? But me putting this out publicly allows me to attract a different brand of people. It allows me to attract people who don't know me, people who haven't known me that whole time. So putting yourself out there, leaving your hometown, is the same as putting yourself out there, and it allows you to grow. It allows you to meet other people, and it allows other people to meet the new version of you. That's the biggest kicker right there. Because if there's people who knew the old version of you, 9 times out of 10, they're going to hold you back. Some people can see and recognize your growth, and those people are keepers in your life. Those people will help you go freaking mountaintops, right? They can see that you've grown. But a lot of people will hold you back, and a lot of people are just very insecure about their own station. So your growth is a threat to their stagnation. And that doesn't feel good. Your friends, You in particular, myself, everybody wants you to feel like they feel. And that's for better or worse. People want you to feel as they feel, right? I always try and get people to work out, lift weights. I love lifting weights. Come lift weights with me, please, right? But same thing. A dude who's like fat and happy wants you to feel like that. Why would you ever go outside and sweat? I don't like that. Why would you go to the gym? Why would you want to take your shirt off in public? All this kind of stuff. They want you to feel like they feel, for better or worse. So it's misery loves company, but also you can elevate people. So I'm saying that to say is the people in your hometown, they're usually staying there for a reason, because they're not growing and they don't want to grow. I'm not saying this isn't a blanket case, but 9 times out of 10, they're not growing, they don't want to grow, and they want you to feel just like them, and your growth threatens them. So it behooves you to go to a bigger place, right? It's better to be a big fish in the ocean than it is to be a big fish in a small pond. So I'd rather go to the ocean. If you're finding in your life that you're the big fish, that you're the smartest in the room, that you're the most successful friend you have, the most fit friend you have, you're in the wrong rooms. And the only way to find people who are higher level than you is to go to the ocean, is to go to the big pond and find the bigger fish and have them help you grow. Because the other option is now you're limited. You know, you can only get so big. Fish, this is literally a thing, right? You put a fish in a tank, it'll only grow to a certain size, even though in nature it could be gigantic, because it's limited to that space. And biologically, physically, it knows that, and that it cannot grow. That's why it's so important to leave, guys, because you have to. This is what I said to myself in probably 2012, I feel like 2 years before I had left to San Diego. I said I have to go to grow. And that's the thing. When you're feeling like the biggest fish in your pond, it's time to get out of there. It's time to level up. So yeah, I kind of went off on a tangent, but it all holds true. This is why you need to leave your hometown. You're not just leaving your hometown. You're leaving a mindset. You're leaving your old self behind. You're leaving, and you're finally taking the leap. You're finally taking the leap of faith that's required for success. If you don't take that leap of faith, you'll just sit there and wonder what if for the rest of your life. And that's never good. Trust me.